Welcome to the garden. So I guess this is like a garden video diary. It's 4th of March 2015. We've had a bit of unseasonal snow, but this is my main garden, what I call the Joy Garden, and in the distance is the Polytunnel, which is my second garden. This garden here was actually originally the siting of the Polytunnel, but it had to be moved. And if you want to know, that's the house over there, and we have a pond and ducks down there. So we also have a garden supervisor. Hi. So this year I want to be working a lot with the soil. I might have changed the edges on the beds. It's just some old wood there. I might have wanted to make them higher, or I might just make do with what is this year. Obviously I've got to get planting yet. I will probably raise things in this little sort of potting shed here and then put them out as transplants, because we have terrible problems with slugs, especially as I've let it get a bit weedy and neglected. So that is the main garden. This is the Polytunnel. This is my second main gardening space. It's actually quite far from the house. I would have preferred it much nearer, but due to planning issues, it had to go down here, which is away from the actual development site that the house is on. It's a wonderful space. It is slightly damp down here. You'll hear me squelching. But this space is fantastic for me. Being in Ireland, we get a lot of rain, so it helps me have a dry space to garden in. It extends my season. I can start things off earlier, keep them going later in the season. It's really a wonderful space. There's not a lot going on at the moment, but I just wanted to show you what it's like, and it's a bit messy. So I have some straw here that I'm going to be mulching with in the main garden, and here that's some old kale Nero. Again, my garden supervisor. So all these beds are mulched with straw, as are the paths. A little bit of feverfew tucked in there. I actually have some rocket here that I had over winter, and I have a little bit of green curly kale. The rocket, it's getting a bit strong. I'm letting it flower in case there are any bees about, and then I'll probably chop and drop it. So actually over here I had left a few little potatoes, and they're actually starting up through that mulch. I have here my gardener's seat, which is really important to have a place to relax and ponder. One of my favourite spaces in the tunnel. So these beds are mulched with straw. I'm just waiting to do my planting plan and then get planning later on. That was my Brussels sprouts over here. They were lovely. And I found that actually some of them have, where I picked them, they've sort of resprouted, and I've been eating them and they're really quite tasty. Bit more kale, a bit of leek. And in this little bed I've had some kale Nero I've been eating over the winter. I've had some celery that I've really just been using for leaves in juices and salads. And similarly, this is a beetroot here, and I lifted the other beetroots in the autumn, and a couple of them got a bit big and woody, so I left them for this regrowth so I can eat this, put it in juices and salads over the winter. As I said, there's not much else to see. Another garden supervisor. One of the advantages of mulching with straw, even on the pads, is some of my plants self-seed. This is self-seeded kale Nero, and I can transplant some of these out into the main garden or other areas in the path. So I really like that. It means I don't have to start them off in trays. It feels more natural to me, so that's handy. One of the disadvantages of straw mulch is that sometimes the straw sprouts, and they should be taken out a lot earlier than this. So it's always good to keep, you can chop and drop them when they're young. So that's the overview of the tunnel on 4th of March. Said it should look really different as the season goes on, and hopefully you'll get to see it again soon.